Hi guys, it's Kirsten with Julep Tile Company, and today I want to talk to you about how to choose the perfect tile color. This is a question that we get often from clients. I know it's something that they struggle with, so I wanted to share how we go about choosing the right tile color, and you can do it with one simple trick. So, what is this simple trick? Well, actually, what it is learning how to view your samples properly. And I know that this doesn't sound exciting and fun and stuff, but I promise you this is the proper way to do it, and it'll really help you be able to make an educated decision. So, the other thing that we'll talk about is how this picture on the right is not the right way to view your samples. I know it looks pretty and all of that, but I'll talk to you more about how not to do it in just a minute. So, step one is to place your samples as they would be installed. So, you can see here that we have on a horizontal surface, we have our countertop sample and we have our flooring. And then on the vertical surface, we have our cabinet sample, backsplash, wall, and trim color samples. So why does this matter and why do we need to do this? I'll show you an example here. So this right here is a painted color board. It's Benjamin Moore's Chantilly lace. It is the whitest white in the Benjamin Moore collection. It's also a very true white, and as you look at it, you think, hey, that's a white. But what happens if we, rather than holding it up vertically, what happens if we were to hold it as if it were on the ceiling? So look at how that changes the color, right? Like now it looks like a really dark gray. Which, side note, this is why I usually recommend Chantilly lace for ceilings, because it gets so much darker when you put it on the ceiling that you really want something pretty light up there. So that's why that is also important, to put everything as it would be when it's installed. So step two, we need to neutralize your lighting. So the reason why we do this is because different light bulbs and can lights and lighting fixtures can have tints to them. So they might have a warm tint or a cool tint, and all of that is going to throw off how you see the color of your sample. So we want to get rid of that as much as we can. So this sounds crazy, but the best way to do that is to actually view your samples with your lights off. So obviously don't do this in the middle of the night because you won't see anything. But the best time in my experience is kind of midday, and that's because you don't get the glaring direct sun from either the rays in the morning or in the afternoon, where the sun is kind of coming in sideways through your windows. If you do it midday, you really get kind of a nice ambient light coming in through the windows. Also do it in the actual room where you're going to have your kitchen if possible. I know sometimes, like new builds or whatever, you can't do that, but that'll give you the most accurate lighting possible. So the third step is we need to control our background, and we want it to be as neutral as possible. So this picture on the right, I think we've all seen examples like this on Pinterest, where they've got all their color swatches painted on the wall right on top of their existing wall color. And the reason why this doesn't work is that the existing wall color really throws off how these colors each look, and they don't give you an accurate representation of what the actual color is, what the actual undertone is. And so really that's not the best way to be choosing colors. So let's walk through an example of how we would do this with our kitchen finishes. So let's have a look here. Yes, this is not the right way to do it on the right. Okay, so first off, we have our countertop sample on a horizontal surface like we learned in step one. We have our tile samples on a vertical surface. So check, we've got that done. We've got our lights off. We're just looking at this with ambient natural light. So now what we're going to do is we just put a simple sheet of like printer paper behind the tile samples. And I didn't do this on the countertop sample because it's such a large sample, but if you have a smaller sample, please make sure you put kind of a white sheet under that on the horizontal surface as well. So let's go back and see how it looks without the white behind it. So really these three tile samples to me look like, well, hey, any of those could be a good choice with that countertop. Like they all just look kind of white. But when you put the white sheet of paper behind it, it gives you a comparison, right? To compare each of them to each other. And so what I notice right away when we put the white paper behind it is that the middle sample looks pretty yellow to me. So what I do when I'm going through a process like this is I choose the most obvious wrong answer and eliminate like a process of elimination. So if that middle tile looks too yellow to relate to the countertop, let's take that out. So now we're left with these two. And I would say neither of these is a wrong choice. I don't think it would be like a really horrific wrong choice. And I think you'll see as you get further along eliminating them, it'll get a little bit trickier or a little harder because you're left with the best samples. But when I look at these, I think the one on the left looks too white because the Taj Mahal countertop really has some creamier, warmer white tones in it. So I would eliminate the tile on the left. So now what we're left with, if anybody's interested, this is our new satin white glaze. And you can see now how well it relates to the countertop and how they really kind of match really well. And that's what you want when you get down to your final answer. And so you can do this in a variety of different ways. If you already have your cabinets picked out, put those up on the vertical surface and then, put in whatever you're trying to decide next. So if you have countertop and cabinet, put those in and then add like 2 or 3 different tile samples and start eliminating them. I know everybody kind of starts in different with different things picked out. So this way you can really customize it to where you're at in the process. So I hope that's been helpful. I know it's something that, like I said earlier, a lot of our clients really struggle with. So hopefully it helps you make a good, educated decision. If you need anything else from us or you want to check out more of our tiles, you can always visit us at juleptile.com.